It's Carlos, he came. He's ready.
I'm always ready. How you doing, Judd?
Good, man. Yeah,
Good,
I'm
good.
excited for this one.
I bet. I bet.
Yeah. Matt has
Yeah.
to do most of the work, so this one,
Oh,
this
I'm
one's
on
Matt's
today. I
work.
thought you were doing it.
I just get to hang out and,
Hi, Matt.
monitor the chat.
Good.
So, hey,
Good.
everyone.
Why aren't y'all in Vegas?
Oh, you're in Vegas? That's awesome.
No, I said, why aren't you all in Vegas?
Oh, well, we'll be there coming up soon for Photo Booth Expo. Yeah, and I have some stuff to share on that soon, basically. I'll probably do it towards the end, but we're doing, I'll share a link with office hours, so you can book, if you're in Vegas, you can book 15 minutes with Matt or I. We're going to do a meetup, on Monday night where you can come up to the Czech Cherry Suite. We did that last year. It was really fun. And then we also have a masterclass on getting the most out of your Czech Cherry account, basically. And I guess I could, let me see if I can even paste that in the chat. Hold on. Yeah, and we'll cover that later, but I'll paste that for now. I'll paste that in the chat. Yeah, and there you go. Yeah. So, okay, guys, let's get started. It's 6 o'clock. Thanks for coming, everybody. So today we're talking about our new scheduling feature. It's called appointments. And so long story short of it is, Check Cherry, you can do your bookings, but if you want to schedule sales consultations and other supporting meetings, if you will, within Check Cherry, you can now do that with appointments. And we're going to show it off. We'll, feel free to ask questions in the chat. But this is a new feature, and it's been long been on the list of things that people have wanted us to offer, and we're happy that we're here today to talk about it. And so I'll let Matt take it away.
Yeah, thanks for the intro, Judd. Let me share my screen. And so basically kind of what we think about it as, obviously you can create appointments, we'll kind of walk through some of the use cases. But everything from, we were kind of talking about, like some different ways it would be useful before the call and obviously, sales and qualifications. So if, you've got, somebody that is a prospective lead and you need to talk to them, scheduling an appointment is a great way to do that. Planning. So, after somebody books you, we'll talk about how you can like send out like a link to them to set up an appointment with you. Things like for venues that need to do like a venue walkthrough, equipment pickup and drop off if that's something you need to worry about, if you need to schedule those times. And then even like things like post-event follow-ups, you could do that. And you could probably do even some team stuff, like if you need to do one-on-one with your staff or team meetings, things like that. You would should be able to do that as well. Um, so that's kind of the, some of the places it's useful. Um, and so where you'll find that in Cherry, kind of the first thing you'll want to do. So we're basically appointments are kind of, unlike a booking, which is kind of a business-wide thing, appointments are a little bit more unique to a certain user. And so, if you're a single op, um, operation where you're kind of running everything, it's pretty straightforward, but it gets a little bit more complicated with people with bigger teams. And so kind of the way it works is on the user now, we have a new role called extended or enhanced scheduling. By default, this is on your account owner. So whoever's your account owner is going to have that enabled already. You can, disable it if you wanted to for some reason, but in general, you can, you can enable that. And then you can enable that on other accounts as well if you need to. So if you go to, under manage users and then enable that feature, you'll see a little bit of information about it, what the enhanced appointment scheduling includes. And it's worth mentioning, right now we're not charging anything extra for it. Longer term, there probably will be a fee of $5 per user for for anybody past that, past the first user. So anybody that's not the account owner, there probably will be a fee on that. We won't be doing that until later in the year. And basically what that'll do, anybody can join an appointment, but if you want to be able to schedule it, to sync your own Google Calendar, to block off conflicts and things like that, that's where you'll need that enhanced appointment scheduling. So, but for any account that has it opened, you'll now see in your, if you click your name in the top right, you'll see a few things. You'll see My Appointments, you'll see appointment scheduling. And you'll also see when you click Create New, you'll see an option to create an appointment manually. It's probably less common that you would create it manually. Probably more common is that your customers are going to be picking a time and things like that. But just to start off, let's go ahead and create an appointment. And so it's going to look pretty similar to, creating a booking or something like that. You'll put the attendee's name, their email.
As you do that, Matt, some of the chats, somebody's saying, hey, can everyone hear? Is it just my computer? This is Sarah. And Sarah, I can hear fine. And then Jim is saying he's pretty quiet. But Jim, I can hear him fine. I mean, my volume's not all the way up, but is everybody else hearing okay? Rick says he's pretty low volume as well. So I don't matter if you can.
Yeah, he sounds far, like he doesn't sound like he has a mic.
I mentioned that last week. Let me see here.
Jim's on a 10.
Okay, is this any better? I'm bumping it up into the yellow and red a little bit, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Yep, it's better. So
That's
good.
better. Yeah.
Okay.
It sounds the same to me. That's interesting. So okay, cool.
Interesting. Cool. Well, I can play with that if we have other issues. And so, whoops, don't leave the meeting.
I'm going to send you another one of these DJI mini mics that I just got, Matt.
Yeah.
Into your computer.
Let's see. So Judd and I use Zoom like all day, every day, and neither of us can figure out how to use it. Okay. So anyway, so if you're creating an appointment, dates, times, all that kind of stuff, you can set appointment lengths, where the meeting will take place. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a little bit. In person.
Just to be clarified, this is an admin scheduling appointment for whatever reason. Maybe I'm texting somebody and they can do it. Like I haven't given them a link to self-schedule that appointment. Yep. I'm manually entering it as an admin. Yeah.
And so you might do this, if you're playing around with it, of course, but where this can come in handy is if maybe if you need to do like a staff meeting. And so we can even add some staff to it if we want to as well. And then we can decide, do we want to send any email confirmations out, or do we want to just, we can always send those later too. So I'm going to leave that unchecked for now. And once I do that, now I can see, obviously the appointment details, who's attending. Every appointment is going to have one organizer, and that's just kind of the primary staff. But you can do things like cancel it, delete it, kick out messages and things like that as well. So, again, that's probably less common that you're going to be creating appointments manually, but if you need to, you can come in and make changes. If you need to reschedule something, you can do that. If you need to add additional staff, you can do that. So how do you find your appointments once you've created them? Well, there's a couple of places. If you click your name in the top right, you'll see My Appointments, and that's just going to be the ones that you're assigned to. Wherever you're supposed to show up, that'll have kind of a list view of it. Under sales appointments, we'll show all of them. So even appointments that you're not assigned to. And so if you've got, multiple people scheduling appointments in your company, or, somebody else is going to be taking on a meeting, that all appointments will let you see everything in one place. And then similarly, under the calendar, you'll see a new item here, appointments. And, that's going to have the same thing, a list of all of your appointments that are coming up and scheduled and things like that. And if you want to just limit it to yourself, you can do that as well. So all pretty straightforward.
So Roger's asking, is there a way to create a link to share with the client so they can self-serve for booking an appointment?
Absolutely. And so
I didn't plan it. I didn't plan it, Matt. He asked
Yep.
it. Okay.
I love that. I love
Yep.
that already.
So let's take a look at probably the more common and more useful use case, which is, hey, I want to have somebody else schedule a time with me. So if you go to kind of get started, if you click your name in the top right and go to appointment scheduling, you'll see all of the options here. So first off, you're going to see your appointment availability. We're going to default that to the same as your booking by default, but you can, uncheck that. And that's probably worth doing. You probably don't want appointments at, 3 a.m. or something. So, if you want to set that to 9 to 5 or, whatever hours.
Yeah, I could see our customers doing kind of more day appointments, right? You don't want to encroach, but maybe, who knows? We'll see.
Another thing that you might want to do is, if you do, like I know it's pretty common that where DJs maybe are doing events frequently at night, and so you want to take your appointments during the day and your events at night. So, just to avoid conflicts and avoid somebody booking an appointment during a time when you would prefer to be, actually doing an event. So real common to kind of, adjust your availability for appointments. And then underneath that, you'll see a panel for scheduling widget. And those are going to basically be the options for what the customer is going to be booking with you. So you can adjust that. We've got some defaults already set up. We'll say 30 minutes. But if your appointments are typically shorter or longer, you can set up longer time blocks for that. If you want to have a minimum time between appointments, a little buffer between, you can do that. The minimum notice, what that's going to do is make sure that you don't have an appointment scheduled, say 10 minutes from now. It's going to put a minimum buffer
Buffer, yeah, lead time, so to speak, yeah.
Exactly, lead time. And then the maximum days in future. If you don't want to take an appointment, 6 months from now, you can put a limit in there. So maybe a week, maybe 14 days, something like that. Next, you'll see this option, prevent appointments during, and the default is going to be assigned bookings only. And so, if you're, again, a single op, you're doing all of the events, you may want to change that to all bookings. And so that anytime a booking comes in, you may want to block off appointments during that, or you may just want to block off the ones that you're personally assigned to. And then under that, you're going to see, where will the appointments take place? And so the invitee, the person scheduling it, will be able to choose from these options as far as where the appointment will take place. And so, you want to select at least one, but, you don't need to select more than one if you don't want. And basically what you're going to do is just kind of set up like, how do you want these meetings to take place? Is it going to be something where people are coming to your office in person, or more commonly, is it going to be something that you're doing virtually or over the phone or things like that? At launch, we've got in person, a phone, and an other. Coming soon will be Zoom, and I'll show a little teaser of what that's going to look like. We've got to wait for Zoom to approve us, and we've got a little bit of an approval process to wait for on that. So very soon, Zoom integration will be coming. I guess probably Google Meet too. I don't know if there's anything else that people use for that sort of thing. Let us know if so. But I would say Zoom and Google Meet are the ones that are pretty obvious. And then below that, just kind of, this is going to be an invitation message. So what are the customers seeing when they schedule a meeting with you? And then what confirmation message should they get when they book you? And then if you go all the way down to the bottom, you'll finally see that link that you can give out to people to book the time. And so let's copy that and go see what that looks like.
Jim's happy about the prospect of Google Meet integration, Matt.
Okay, good to know. Yeah. And I know people use Microsoft has one too, right?
Teams. Yeah.
Teams. Okay. Yeah. So we're open to these integrations. Just let us know if it's useful. So once the customer goes to, once you send somebody that link, whether that's in an email or on a web page, or, you can embed this within your website as well, they'll see a widget like this. And again, it's just going to kind of have an overview of what the appointment, what type of appointment is being scheduled, how long it is, what that invitation message that you set up is. And they'll be able to choose a date, choose a time, um, choose where that meeting location is, go back, all that type of stuff. And so I'm going to choose, let's say, Skype. You can all watch me type for a minute, put a phone number in there. The phone number will be required if phone is set as the option. Then we also have this option here to allow additional guests as well. So if I wanted to invite Judd as well.
I don't want in. I'm out. No, I
You're
don't want
in. Yep.
No.
And then if the customer has any other notes, they can put that as well. And so they submit, and I get an error because that's not a real email address. Let's do. And so once they do that, we'll get an email saying, or message, that confirmation message that you set up. That'll be shown to them. The appointment details will show up, and then in my inbox, I'll get an email. As both the staff and as the attendee. And so if we go find that appointment, let's see, I think it was this one. And we go and look at the messages tab, we can see the messages that were sent out. So in this case, a message was sent out to the attendee with the details. Message was sent to the admin, so me and my admin role receive a slightly different one with a link to manage that appointment. And then Judd got a copy as well, since he was also on that email. And so under that messages tab, you kind of similar to bookings or leads or proposals, things like that. You can see all of that message history. You can kick off manual emails if you need to for some reason.
I really like that. It feels, Matt, I love how it feels familiar. Like people should be able to manage through it pretty easy. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully it just kind of real similar to like the bookings and proposals and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you want to trigger an email, an automated message, you can as well. So if, say these, we've got some reminders already set up in your account too. So I think about an hour before the appointment, an email will go out. You can also manually kick that out if you want. So if I wanted to do that, in a minute or so, an appointment reminder will go out. And so again, Judd got a reminder, hey, just a reminder that your appointment with Chet Cherry is coming up, and all the details. So real simple, pretty straightforward. That email will also include at least for the customer, it'll include an ICS file or one of those calendar attachments, so they can just click to add it to their calendar as well.
I got a question. Karen says, can we create more than one meeting type? Say one for initial consult and another for a planning meeting.
Not currently.
Not yet.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I guess I guess let me ask you, what would be different about it? Would it be the appointment length and things like that would vary? Or would it be more like I just need like a time or a type on the.
And Karen, you can chat in or just unmute yourself and share with what you're thinking.
Yeah. So for what we do, we tend to integrate stuff into emails and stuff that we set up for our clients. So if you were sending out stuff that was a lead campaign and you were saying, hey, here's where you can get into a meeting with us, that would be specifically for an initial consultation. And maybe that's a much shorter call, right, than a planning meeting is. A planning meeting could be an hour or more, depending on your clients, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you're talking DJ stuff, there's a lot of details to go through, and some people are horrible at filling out planning forms. So then the meetings take a lot longer than anticipated, right? But I mean, an initial consult could be something that's either on the phone or in a Zoom, or even in person if they wanted to meet up for coffee or something. But a final planning meeting is probably the Zoom or an in person,
But
sort of thing.
primarily
So just having a few options, right?
the links. Yeah. It's
Mhm.
good
Yeah.
feedback.
Yeah.
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
Oh, go
Yeah.
ahead.
And I did have one other question, if you don't mind. Is there going to be a way to remind clients about the appointments that they've booked? That's a big reason why we tie in Calendly right now to everything that we do. So if it could do that and it would be able to remind them by email and by text, that would be amazing.
Yeah. Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, yeah, so to the first point, yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. We kind of built it, the way it's built, we can, I don't think it'll be too hard for us to add different calendars or different, I guess I'd call them calendars or meeting types or something. It just kind of was like a confusion thing, like, oh, is that something that would be useful? So it's good to know that it would be. As far as reminders,
Well,
so
can we let's get to these other questions before we hop into this, if you don't mind. So Carlos has his hand up. Maybe he has something, but I think we haven't covered the whole reminder stuff, and that's another segment, so to speak. So go ahead, Carlos. What do you got?
Okay, so I'm with Karen's opinion right now because sometimes we need the initial appointment with the couples if it's a wedding or corporate client, right? So where we talk about different details and so on. After the booking take place, for me as a DJ and photo booth, sometimes we need more than one appointment with the client before we finalize everything, to go over detail for example, DJ situation, ceremony, cocktail hour, first dance, father and daughter dance,
Sure.
all those details we go over a couple calls before we finalize everything.
But similar to Karen, the length is the difference, right? You need more time, basically. Like, hey, a sales call, I don't want to book off an hour, but now that you've basically signed and paid, I'm willing to book off an hour.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay, cool. And then Gerald, what do you got for us?
Yeah, we're very similar. Like if we're doing DJ, because we have DJs, if I'm having an MC meeting, an initial one, it's like at least an hour and a half for that meeting. If somebody's phoning with a photo booth, I can knock that out in 15 minutes or 30 minutes. And it would depend even on just which way it comes in. So, yeah, so we use Calendly now, and we literally have probably 4 different calendars, and the primary thing that separates them is 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hour meet. So
Makes a lot of sense.
yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, so I think, I think, like I said, we kind of, thought that might be a thing that would be useful. So, so I can definitely see that making it in pretty soon.
One more before you start.
Yeah.
Jim says, may I miss it? Can you sync the Google Calendar so clients can't book when we are busy?
Yes. So basically when you sync your Google Calendar, so under Sales, Calendar, let's see here, sign in with Google. I don't think I want to do that actually, because I have a bunch of stuff on there. Once you sign in with Google, there's an option in there to as to whether you want to block appointments or block bookings. And so yeah, so that is an option. So so just go to Sales Calendar and then chat with us if you can't find it. And so as far as the reminders, automated messages, things like that. So under Manage Automated Messages, the appointments are mixed in with Other. And what you'll find is we've got a few that we've added to your account already. So a customer appointment confirmation, a staff appointment confirmation, and that's going to be the details of, of what the, what that email is going to include. It's going to include the meeting full details. So regardless of what they choose there, whether it's, in person, Zoom, things like that, those details will be filled in there. And then similarly with the staff, that'll be a little bit more formatted to be a little bit more information dense. And then you'll also find a couple of reminders in there as well. So I think we send a reminder approximately 1 hour before, just reminding them that, hey, your appointment is coming up. Similarly, we send that to the staff as well. And when I say staff, I mean the assigned staff on the booking. So, so if you're not on the booking, you're not going to get that email. But by default, whoever's assigned to that appointment is going to get it.
Karen asks, can those be set for specific time, like sent 2 or 24 hours before and 1 hour before email and text reminders?
Yeah, so by default, we've got one that goes out an hour before, but you can change that or you can add additional ones as well. So if I click on that new, what does it say, new automated message, I can add additional reminders there. And so that's going to include things like, basically, you'd probably want to use the appointment schedule time. And so you'd want to say, hey, 1 day before, or 12 hours or 24 hours, whatever the case may be, before the appointment is scheduled, and then you can include whatever information you want in that email. And so similarly, you can send out SMS reminders as well. We don't do that by default, so that is one that you would want to enable if you have SMS set up in your account. And basically, that's going to be the same thing, maybe an hour before, maybe 24 hours before, you can have that go out. And as long as we have a phone number for them, we'll send them a text message.
Karen's funny. She's like, sorry for all the questions. We don't mind.
It's great. Yep.
It's fine, and we also recognize that this is a first iteration of appointments, and we can see a lot of different ways it can be better.
Mm-hmm. And so that's the reminders. We've also got, there's some things like, I don't think we have this in your account yet, but an appointment rescheduled. So if you want to get kick off an email easily when something gets changed, you can. And if an appointment is canceled, that can.
Jim's asking, can the email or text be sent to the review queue as well?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I would assume yes. So it works just like the other ones, yeah.
Yep. And so you can send it to the review queue if you want as well.
Then Andre says they want to make calendars for different services. So I'm not following 100% on that one. But for like photo booth or DJ, I mean, I can understand that. But maybe you want to clarify, Andre. And then Gerald has his hand up. Go ahead.
I don't know how to put my hand up. Could someone tell me really fast?
Nope. Go ahead. I think you can. There's a little dots or something like that next to your.
Just put me the queue for questions. Yeah. That's all I ask.
But feel free to ask a question. Go ahead. You hopped in. Go ahead. We're cool.
All right. Sorry to interrupt everybody. So my main thing is that obviously this is the first iteration and this is awesome so far. I want to add to the point that people were making about having different types, mainly be time-based variables. And I agree with that, but I also want to add more things on top of that, such as a final planning meeting might have XYZ employees available to be scheduled. And a initial planning meeting might be with our office person, or a meeting with, what I mean? It might have different types of people for different types of meetings on top of time, on top of
Right.
potentially different availability.
So in other words,
which all
people, yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that was my main thing. Like on top of time, it's important to down the road. Obviously, this is iteration 1. This is awesome. Love what I'm seeing, but it would be important to add some more variables that rely on the actual core.
Yeah, and some other things we want to do are things like bring in more calendar integration at an individual user level, stuff like that. So that's going to be important for those features to work well. But it makes a lot of sense to kind of be able to, hey, these people can do these meetings, so you can kind of pick one.
If bare minimum that and the time thing, that'd be awesome. But I know you guys are working hard, so that's just
no, we don't mind. We like the feedback. As software guys, we're used to the hey, does it do this yet? It's like not yet. So totally fine. Gerald, what do you got for us?
Okay, just 3 quick ones. When you get Zoom hooked into that, will that be one of the meeting locations that's easily selectable? Zoom in with the Zoom link.
Yep, and how that'll work, I can even show you a quick demo of that, I think, here in my development environment. So when you go to, let's see, yeah, so you'll be able to connect your Zoom account. And because this is on the user level, different people, this is basically going to be your Zoom account, for the person hosting it. And when the appointment is scheduled, let's see if I have one here already. What we do is that'll be one of the locations, and then we'll automatically create a Zoom appointment when that happens with all the details.
Okay.
That'll include the link and everything. If it changes for some reason, you come in and reschedule it, we'll sync that change to Zoom. And then if for whatever reason it's canceled, then that'll be deleted from Zoom. So should keep everything pretty nicely in sync. If you log into your Zoom account, you'll see all the upcoming appointments and everything as well. So that'll happen automatically. And then on the customer side, or I guess I need to go to this link. The customer will see that as an option as well if you have that set up. So they'll choose their time. It looks like I don't have that enabled, but they'll see, in lieu of this or in addition to this, they'll see Zoom as one of the options for that meeting location. And then,
so when the customer select, do they see all of the locations or just ones that you like? Because that was kind of my follow-up on that is, with the appointment.
So we'll turn off. So if I come in and turn off these and just leave Zoom, then what it's going to look like is something more like this.
Okay.
And we should probably even just
I think what you were
pre-select that.
I think what you were mentioning was saying if it would that would change based on the type, but that's right now it's based on the individual calendar.
Yep. Yeah. And so technically you actually could create, I suppose, different calendars by different users, but like I say, we'll probably, we'll be rolling out new stuff on
Good
this.
feedback.
I have a question.
So I was just going to follow up because that would be one of the other stipulations on length of would be how it is, because we do 95% or 90% of all of our meetings are all done on Zoom, but we can take a phone call if it's something as simple as, hey, do you have a photo booth available? They're on our website. They know what they've seen a photo. We don't have to spend a lot of time. That's something we can do over the phone. Trying to sell, big DJ packages, we have to do it in Zoom because we got to show them all that stuff. And my other question I had is, are the appointments, are they brand specific? Like, do they have different calendars, like different appointments scheduled for different brands, or is it just one that goes right across everything?
It's more, I would say, more user specific. So it's going to be across everything. That being said, depending on, what link you use. I mean, if I switch over to, let's go to the website integration here. If I switch over to my Being Shots brand and I use the link from there, we'll make sure that all the branding, all the email automation, all that type of stuff is going to match the Being Shots name. So you'll kind of see in the name, it's basically, we're just using the URL to tell what brand we're dealing with. And so you can tell, like, each appointment has a brand and you can tell what it is, but they're not like, it's basically the same way as how bookings work, where every booking has a brand and that'll impact a lot of stuff, but they're all on the same calendar.
Excellent. Okay, because that's why I was thinking in my head, time-wise, the DJ company brand will need longer appointments than our photo booth would versus our budget brand kind of thing. So
exactly, yeah.
There's a question here about, is there a setting to delay before clients can book an appointment, preventing them from scheduling a meeting that starts in 5 or 15 minutes? The answer is yes. There's a, what was it
Under
called?
appointment scheduling, we've got this, I guess we call
Minimum
it
notice.
Minimum notice. Maybe we should change that to lead time, but basically you can say, hey, I need at least an hour a day,
Yep.
Can't imagine doing a week, but.
Love the questions.
And then we took a quick look at the website integration, but basically if you do need to embed this in your website, you can, of course. So manage website integration, and you'll see it along with all the other widgets we have. Basically, same if you've embedded any of these before, it should make sense. You'll copy the HTML, and then you can embed that within your website. And it's going to basically look real similar to the version that we showed before, just smaller so it fits there. So you can also choose which calendar you want when you're doing that embed too. So
now, do we got anything else?
I think that's about it. I guess the only other thing that might come up. So, how do you send these links to people? Obviously, you can copy this link and manually send it to somebody. But you can, of course, include these links in any of your automated messages. So if you want to have a message, your customer booking confirmation, you can include that, grab a time here and then they can click that to book it. So basically anywhere you use that link, whether it's automated messages, manually on your website, things like that, you can do it.
I got more questions. Is there a way to add custom questions when they book in a meeting? So the extra questions?
Not yet. It makes sense, and I guess kind of a one thing wanted to, I guess, do you have an example of when that would be useful?
Yeah, so she says, Karen's on it. So she says, I like to ask clients how they did with the planning so they don't show up with nothing completed, basically. So she wants to kind of like push
Gotcha.
to, which that makes sense.
Yeah.
But the short answer is no, right? Not yet.
Not yet, no. And yeah, I kind of wanted a little feedback on that one. The other thing that occurred to me is, obviously it could tie into our lead forms. And I think some kind of tie-in there is something that we'll definitely do. If you have, ideas or things that would be useful on that, let me know there as well. But
Rick says, I would like to see the schedule of meeting be driven from a lead, proposal, or booking. And so maybe, Rick, you can give us some use cases, but you might be able to do that with the automated messages and sending links.
Yeah, you can do that with an automated message. You can do it in your lead form, you can save and redirect to a URL. So you could send them to the appointment field after they fill out your lead form.
It's more on the lines of having an interactive capability that, you're having a text dialogue or an email dialogue going on, and you say, you know what, let's go ahead and, just get on a call. Can you, meet in 5 minutes type thing, and just be able to, have something that say within the lead itself to click on and say, all right, let's do a schedule meeting right here. It populates, all the pieces for you so that you're not, searching for it, type for it, stuff like that.
So if that happened to me, I would just send them a Zoom link real quick. I mean, that's how I would do that. I wouldn't even bother with what information would you need from them?
Well, it's one
to happen in 5 minutes.
Well, I mean, it could simply be that we need to review some template designs or or timeline scheduling or something of that nature. But you need to have that. You want to have that visual piece that you can share. But again, it's like if it's incorporated, I have it integrated right here, it means that I don't have to go out to my Zoom or go out to Teams or whatever the case may be to create that meeting to have the link to be able to send to them. If it's being all done right here, like you can do it.
One thing you could do as of today would be under the custom templates, you can set up email templates for that. And so you could have a quick message template that you send out that you kick off that would do that. But yeah, I think it makes sense to get that tied in more. More integration, I think certainly makes sense.
So more on the custom questions. Jim says, I ask clients to upload their email or email their timeline if their venue provided them with one ahead of the planning session. So that's just good feedback. And then Carlos has had his hand up for a while. We're ready for you.
No, that's fine, guys. So no, I just want to add that I really like the feature already. Like I'm adding it right now to my website. I'm copying the embed code and I'm gonna paste it right now in my website so I can have that option for my clients in there. And guys, like I'm the kind of person that I like to simplify my life. You know what I mean? I don't want to have like different stuff to do just one task. And having this option right now with you guys, what should I say? Just let me know. I'm ready.
Love it. Love it.
Love it.
Yeah, I think one calendar will work with a lot of our customers also. And then for the bigger operations, multiple calendars and multiple staff users, and we got some good feedback, I think, with
absolutely.
the call. It was good.
Yeah.
Rocco's got his hand up. Go ahead, Rocco.
I can stop sharing now.
I'll ask to unmute. Hold on. You're muted. 1 second. Let's see if that works.
Hello?
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
Okay, so just to clarify, this feature can like import my calendar and block off time slots where I'm busy. Like for example, if I use iCalendar or I use my Apple Calendar, and I have, it could be anything. Could be I got to pick up my kids at school or stuff like that. Can I import those calendars and then those time slots will be blocked off?
CheckCherry currently supports Google Calendar, and you can import one Google Calendar basically for your account at the moment. We think it makes a lot of sense to have each user bringing in calendar data and to support, I guess Outlook's 365 calendar. Matt's one of those people that uses iCloud calendar.
So I use iCloud. Yeah, I'm an iCloud guy, and I have to say, last time because we actually use Calendly ourselves for scheduling, and oh my God, getting iCloud to work with Calendly was a nightmare because iCloud has this like you have to generate like these.
They don't even support it. They don't even support iCalendar anymore.
Well, you
Calendly.
can. I did it, but it was a nightmare. So I don't know if we'll support iCloud or not. I would like to, but you can definitely what you can do though is if you do set up the Google Calendar sync, Google Calendar will sync with everything else as well. So you can kind of use that as like your hub, and
Oh
then
boy.
kind of because your Google Calendar will show up on your Apple devices and everything. That'll sync. So I think that's kind of what a lot of people use is like the master is Google Calendar just because it is so widely supported. But
Yeah.
but yeah, potentially, but like I say, after seeing how bad the experience was, like trying to get the code and everything, I'm not sure that I don't know. We'll see.
iCloud's not going to make it.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. So, but it's obvious that having more external calendar data at the user level would be helpful for features like this and other features of CheckCherry, right? Including scheduling staff, all that stuff. Go ahead, Rosie.
Thank you. So
Yeah.
2 questions. One is, I don't know if I missed it somewhere, but when we, I guess, activate or link to the Zoom feature, are we using our personal Zoom account to, I guess, support this integration?
Yeah, you would be responsible for your Zoom account. Yep.
Okay, so if you have like certain levels, because I think like the free one is whatever, but when you have a paid one, you could have up to an hour or longer. Okay. That was number 1. Number 2, on your dashboard, the calendars, when you look at them, and I think I've asked this before, but I would like to bring it here. But when you look at the dashboard and you look at the calendar itself, the color coding itself, right? Like there's like the greens are very close. So you just pulled it up. The 2 greens for confirmed versus whatever this other one is. Is there a way for us to customize that?
There's not. And I think you're the only person that's ever mentioned this. And kind of the way we operate is if we don't hear it from other people, it becomes like
Got it.
lower priority. I can understand what you're seeing. One's in black text, one's in white text. I mean, I think that's one thing. Feel free to bring it up occasionally. I mean, I think it's fine, but I think you're the only person who's ever mentioned it. oddly enough.
Okay, I'm just I'm very visual, you know, as
But
a
we do get a lot of, or not a lot of, but we do get from time to time is people want different colors for different services, you know, weddings versus corporate, and that
Yeah.
and it becomes like, well, then how do we handle that with all the colors we already have? So
I just mean it
yeah.
for the status. So like if I know in my funnel it moves from one color to
Yeah.
another, I know it at a very quick glance, I know how many I have booked without having to read the details. But that's good. Thank you.
Yep.
I've asked in the past about the colors for the brands, if you could separate like all the bookings, if you could get different colors for the brands on it. So when you're looking at the calendar, like all of them, because as we know, the brands integrate the same equipment and stuff depending on it. That would be honestly, I still am hanging on to DJ Event Planner and I plug in the events in there just because I can quickly look at the calendar and I can see which is photo booth company, which is DJ company and all, but it's all still together. I know you can siphon it by different ones, but
Yeah, you
it
can
does kind of all run
toggle.
together when every booking is all green, no matter which brand it happens to be under.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I don't know what, you know, if that would be, I don't, it's something that, you know, it's obviously colors wouldn't be that hard for us to change or to like have
There's
have a
already so
couple
many
where it's
colors.
just, yeah, but then it becomes almost like you know, color rules or something where based on
Yeah.
packages or so potentially,
Well, there
but
are
yeah.
60 million colors out there at least, right? So there's
What's
lots
that?
of colors.
Right. I mean,
I'm kidding,
Yeah.
but there,
and the previous comment was that the colors are too close together too, you
Yeah.
know, and
yeah.
font colors are actually black and white. I mean, I get it. I mean, it's just, I think it's one of those areas where there's already a lot of colors. I mean, I don't, you know,
Yeah.
one thing you could consider, you know, I don't know, yeah, but we're open to feedback. You know what I mean? I get it. I mean, it's not to say it's, you know, I understand the perspective. I get it.
Yeah, and I know when you're living on the calendar, it's, you know, being able to see things. And the other thing that I wish we could do that we can't is, you know, when we sync to Google, they don't let us control the color at all. That's all built into Google. So, um, but yeah. And then I guess one other thing we didn't mention was under the dashboard, there is a, let me go back to this one. There is a new widget there for senior appointments as well. So, so feel free to add that to your dashboard if that's something.
Oh, nice.
Want to see that front and center. So, and that's under if you click the customize current dashboard, that'll take you to where you can add that. So,
oh, got another hand up. Go for it.
When do we see some of these, not that we're rushing you or anything, but when do we see some of these upgrades being put into place potentially? Obviously, without you guys diving in, looking at code, things like that. Do you think this is a short-term goal, long-term? What are we thinking?
I think it depends on how much feedback we get, how much usage we get.
Okay.
That'll help us prioritize. You know, I would, if, you know, hang on to what you're currently using. You know, if you see what here isn't working for you, you know, I totally get and appreciate the feedback. And I'd like to see stuff like, I mean, obviously, this is a bigger new feature of Check Cherry, right? This is like, so there'll probably be stuff this year. I don't know. It's tough to say.
Okay.
We kind of, the way we develop software is really based on customer feedback. And then sometimes things just make more sense to work on than others. And other things, you know, need to be in place in order to, you know, like a good example, I would say that connecting calendars to user accounts becomes a lot more obvious and important when we have an appointments feature. Does that make sense? Like it's like, oh, wow. So it kind of like gets more priority or it becomes more urgent or, you know, something of that nature. So,
but yeah, and I would say, you know, offhand based on, you know, kind of the feedback, it seems like multiple calendars is, or multiple, you know, scheduling options is probably real high priority. Zoom is coming real soon once we get that submitted for approval now that it's live. So Zoom will be coming real soon. You know, Google Meet, I don't think will be too far off. And then we didn't talk about the app, but an update to add appointments to the app is going to go out in the next, you know, couple of days as well. So, so
I
yeah.
tell you, Richard, it'll get there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I love the app, by the way.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay, so Jim says, love this.
So-
Thanks, guys. We'll definitely start using the,
I know, so Judd, you've got some announcements for PBX.
Oh yeah,
right?
can you go to that link I sent you, or is that easy to
Are you having a mixer? Because I was just about to ask.
Yep.
Yay.
Yeah, so there's a I pasted this. I guess I'll paste it again in the chat for you guys to go to this page. So we just put this up. So there's a few things. Obviously, we're going to be on the trade show floor. We're really easy to find on the photo booth side. And we're doing the key card sponsorship again. There's going to be a Check Cherry meetup at the Check Cherry Suite. That's on Monday at 6 p.m. There's a link right there to RSVP. We'll also send this out via email. And then we're doing office hours. So I think there's like 16, 15-minute slots to do a 15-minute office hour. And I'm actually using Check Cherry's mini session feature for this. So we're dog fooding over here. And you know what, Matt? It was pretty easy to do. And then finally, probably the biggest or most consistent feedback we heard last year at the show was, how do I get the most out of my Check Cherry subscription? And so doing the webinars is part of our answer to that. But we're also doing a masterclass on Check Cherry, tips from the founders, that type of thing. So that's Wednesday at 4 p.m. So those are the options right there. Obviously, we'll be on the show floor as well. And we'll send this out via email, the links in the chat. Feel free to, we'd love to meet you on Monday night. So feel free to register. We just want to know how much beer, wine, snacks to have. And then obviously the office hours, if you're interested in an account review or anything of that nature, we're there. So we got more hands up. So Carlos, go ahead.
Sorry, guys. Last question. So I'm trying already the widget, right? Like I promised. And I don't know where should I go to set up a different time brackets for the appointments. Uh, because I see some availability around like 12 in the morning, 1 in the morning. So I don't want people to have that option. I just want to have a bracket in between. If that makes sense.
Yep. There's an option. One, you can always chat with us. And again, everybody, feel free to chat anytime there's questions.
Okay.
But there's an appointment scheduling link right there. Yep. And then there's, if you say, uncheck the same as booking availability. And
Got
then
it.
you basically set, and that's going to look familiar from our booking settings. So, and then we got Rocco has his hand up too. I'll ask to unmute.
Where was that page that had?
Sorry. I don't know why when I tap on the unmute thing, it doesn't do anything. Sorry. Okay. Two quick questions. Any chance you guys are going to go to WPPI?
Not this year. Why do you ask? Tell me why.
Because I'll be there.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, we've kind of that was is it like in March or something, right? It's like right after.
Yeah, it's in March. Yeah.
I guess we're always, after Photo Booth Expo, we're burned out. I don't know. So we should try it sometime. We've always wanted to go, but it's like, it's so close.
Yeah.
Photo Booth Expo. So we haven't done it.
Is the Photo Booth Expo like the week before or the week after, or?
It is the 17th to the 19th or what I think. What do they got here? Basically, we're driving out on Sunday. We're in Southern California. We're coming back Thursday.
Yeah,
so
that's February. You're talking about February?
Yeah, in like a week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Second question. It's a little off topic. Is it okay to ask an off topic question real quick? Are there anything in the works for some type of music selection feature?
Matt, I didn't plan them. I promise.
Yeah.
That's a good question because we have a good answer for you.
There is something in the works. Yeah, it's probably worth being its own thing. But yes, there's we've got kind of a
some
list type of thing coming. So
yeah, I think you guys are gonna like it. It'll be again just a next iteration. We know that it's kind of long been something that the DJs want from Check Cherry, and so we'll keep on inching our way towards better solutions for you guys on that. But yeah,
That would be fantastic. Thank you.
yep. Anybody else got questions?
Judd, where was that page that you just showed earlier that had all the events?
If you, it's not linked anywhere on the website. In the chat, I just popped it in there.
It's
Did I
all
not? No,
right in the
actually, I take
portal.
that back. I'm not putting it to everybody. Hold on. I put it to a person. There, try that.
Okay.
Yeah, but the meetup last year we did, it was funny. Last year was the first time we did the meetup, and we were like, Matt and I, we sent the email out, and we both were like, maybe there's gonna be like 5 people that show up. And we ended up having like 60 RSVPs. It was great. It was really fun. It was great to meet everybody. It's fun to chat with other Check Cherry customers and, you know, that type of stuff. So
I was there. It was really cool.
yeah, it was fun. I had a good
It
time.
was fun.
But there's the link, and we'll send out an email. You know, I might even include a link to this stuff in the recording of the email. So, and well, Karen's not going to be there next year or another time. You know, and join us on the Zooms. You know,
Yeah.
we don't have to wait around for expos to connect, which is good. I like that. So, yeah. Well, everyone, thanks for coming. Roger said, hey, Roger's going to be there with his wife, Anna. Awesome. Love it. So please RSVP, come, you know, and yeah, we'll be good to go. All right, guys.
Awesome.
Matt, good job. Thank you. Thanks for the feedback, everybody. We appreciate
Hi,
it.
guys.
Thank you guys.
We
Bye.
appreciate you.
Yep, thank you. Thanks, fellas.